Lecture 5, Modern Weapons on Gor, Myth or Reality. A lecture by Sarakan Thorn. Updated and expanded edition, 2026. Masters, mistresses, free men and free women, Kajare and Kajarii. I greet you, you know me, Sarakan Thorn. Some call me the living encyclopedia of Gor. Some call me the Holmes of Gor. I have carried these books for 43 years. Tonight I return to a theme I first explored in 2016, nearly 10 years ago. Back then it was a controversial topic. Many said, they do not exist. Many said, they are not BTB. Many said, they would destroy Gor roleplay. I showed them the book passages. They did not listen. Now in 2026 I speak again, not because the arguments have changed, because the community still has not learned. Let us start with what we already know. Part 1, What the Books Say. The Priest Kings have very modern weapons. We all remember the blue fire. That is not a problem in roleplay. The Kurii from the Steel Worlds also have modern weapons, but they are not allowed to use them on Gor. That too is not a problem. But the question is, do normal humans on Gor have access to modern weapons? The answer is yes. The books are clear. Over the last few years, I have had many discussions about this theme, and the reaction was very similar each time. Some of the most used arguments against modern weapons are: 1. The use is not allowed and will not be allowed. 2. No sim owner will allow it. 3. They are not BTB, for this would destroy Gor RP. 5. We cannot use them because it is against the laws of the Priest Kings. Even roleplay school mentors have used the same arguments, though sometimes in more detail. But is it true that there are no modern weapons on Gor? Are they against the concept of John Norman, the laws of the Priest Kings? The laws of the Priest Kings state that the creation, ownership, or use of a modern weapon will cause the flame death in the blue fire, destruction of the human and all evidence as a result. But for those who know the books better, the reality is a little different. The sniper rifle, Assassin of Gor. Here is the complete passage from Assassin of Gor. Certain of the boxes which were unloaded, to my surprise, bore lettering in various languages of Earth. I recognized English and French and German, something that was presumably Arabic, and other boxes which were marked with characters doubtless either Chinese or Japanese. I suspected, however, that the goods in these boxes might not all be those of Earth. I suspected rather that in some of these boxes at least might be goods from the ships of others, transported by way of Earth, in ships to be piloted by men. Some of the goods, however, were surely of Earth. Among them was a high-powered rifle with telescopic sights. To possess such a weapon, of course, on Gor was a capital offense, it being a violation of the weapon laws of Priest Kings. Assassin of Gor, page 128. You should not be surprised when you see someone in roleplay with tobacco or drinking a special wine from Earth. But that is not a clear sign that this person is a Kurii agent, because Earth goods are sold secretly or used as bribes. And yes, this is by the book. This is not speculation. This is canon. A sniper rifle exists on Gor, the automatic pistol Prize of Gor. In Prize of Gor, we meet Murris, a Kurii agent born on Earth. He owns an automatic pistol. Here is the complete passage. "We are 9 men," said Portus Canio, puzzled. "I have this," said Murris, reaching within his robes. Ellen cried out in misery. "Perhaps the slave can explain it to you," said Murris. In the hand of Murris, brandished, glinting, there shone the grayish steel of an automatic pistol. "Beware, masters," cried Ellen. "It is a weapon." "Surely an unlikely weapon," said Celius Arconius. "It seems blunt for a knife and small for a club." "Perhaps he stabs melons with it," said one of the fellows at the wagon. "And you draw the juice out through the hole," speculated another. "It might do to give an a headache if you hit it hard enough," suggested another. "Perhaps that is what it is for." "No, no, please, masters," cried Ellen. "I know what that is. I have seen such things. I do not know a word in Gorian for it. I do not think there is such a word, but it is dangerous. It can kill. Believe me, it is a bow, or like that, or like a sling. It ejects pellets, stones, small knives, or however you can understand this. Try to understand what I am saying. Please, it is dangerous. It can kill. It is like lightning, I know. Please believe me, masters." Prize of Gor, page 527. "This is called a gun or a pistol," said Murris. "Now you have words for it. Now it is real to you." Prize of Gor, page 527. Not a crossbow, not a sling, an automatic pistol. Why did the Priest Kings not react? This is the question that selective BTB players cannot answer. The answer lies in Priest Kings of Gor, Book 3, and the results of the Nest War. In that war, much of the Priest King's surveillance and reconnaissance systems were destroyed. Some could not be repaired. Some was lost forever. We see the results of this in the changed behavior of the Priest Kings, the Kurii, and their agents. For example, the Priest Kings could not destroy the bomb in the Tahari. Their reach was reduced. Their eyes were no longer everywhere. As a consequence for our role play, the Priest King agents and the work of the initiates in investigating and controlling the Gorians are even more important. It adds many interesting possibilities to our stories. This is not speculation. This is in the books. And if they could not stop a bomb, what else have they missed? Part 2. The Raid on Ar and the Logic of the War. Here is where the Holmes of Gor comes in. In Assassin of Gor, Cabot saw what the Kurii agents were bringing to Gor. They were storing modern earth weapons, including the sniper rifle, in the warehouses of Ar. The plan was simple. These weapons were meant to attack the nest of the Priest Kings. But then the war between Cos and Ar came. The Priest Kings could not destroy these weapons. Not because they would not. Not because they did not want to, but because they could not. Their surveillance systems were damaged. Their power was weakened. Their agents were too few, too weak, too unprepared. The initiates and Priest King agents could recognize the danger and report it, but they could not destroy the weapons. They lacked the strength. They were observers, not soldiers, and the weapons themselves, they could not simply be removed. They were stored deep in the warehouses of Ar. No one dared to move them. No one had the means to destroy them, not the Priest Kings, not the initiates, not the agents of the nest. Only the war could stop them. During the war, the weapons could not be used, not because they were useless, but because none of the city's leaders knew of them, or because no one dared to use them. The target of these weapons was the nest, not the armies of Cos, and after the capture of Ar, the warehouses were destroyed. The weapons were destroyed with them. Norman does not write this directly, but it follows logically from what we know. The Priest Kings could not destroy the weapons. They were too weak. The initiates could only watch and report. They could not act. The Kurii could not retrieve them. Ar was captured. The victors of Cos did not want modern weapons in their city. So only destruction remained, destruction brought by war. This is not fan fiction. This is logical gap filling. Norman did not write every step, but he gave us enough to fill the gaps. This is BTB Plus, not just reading what is there, but understanding what lies between the lines. Part 3, 2 Approaches to Modern Weapons. What is the influence of the existence of modern weapons for our role play, and how should we handle it? I see two ways. First approach, we accept that modern weapons are part of Norman's concept. They may appear in special situations but are never part of daily role play. Second approach, we ignore them, but then our role play is no longer by the book. We can find nice words for it, but that is a fact. Part 4, Limits and Logic. There are limits, even for the first approach. Who among us would like the idea of a raid with automatic weapons and modern bombs thrown from tarns? Such overkill would never be accepted as part of Norman's concept. In the books, we see that modern weapons are normally only in the hands of Kurii or their agents. This limits their use in a way that makes it more acceptable and logical. They are not for daily RP. They are for special stories. And each writer should ask, does this weapon enhance the storyline? Is it necessary, or does it disrupt the natural progression of the role play? If it feels like a plot device that could break immersion, reconsider its inclusion. If there is no need, do not use it. They should remain special. Part 5, Rules for Responsible Use. Based on these principles, here are clear guidelines for sim owners and players who wish to integrate modern weapons into their RP without breaking the spirit of Gor. Rarity and approval. Modern Earth weapons should be rare, and their use must be justified by the storyline. They should never be a common feature of roleplay. Characters wishing to possess or use modern weapons must provide a backstory justifying the weapon's presence on Gor and obtain explicit admin approval before introducing such weapons to the sim. Narrative impact. RP around these weapons should include the confusion, fear, and awe that such technology inspires among the Gorian populace. As seen in the Prize of Gor passage, the Gorians did not even have a word for a pistol. Your RP should reflect that. Consequences. Characters using modern weapons should face significant consequences. The discovery of a modern weapon might trigger an investigation by the Priest Kings or Kurii agents. Using such weapons may result in the character being hunted or persecuted. No god modding. Modern weapons must not make characters invincible or offer unfair advantages. Their use should still allow for tension, conflict, and resolution within the RP. Game mechanic versions of such weapons exist, such as those sold by GTS, and are balanced with traditional Gor combat like bows and crossbows. Part 6. The Bigger Picture. Modern weapons are not the only thing selective BTB bans. They ban Kurii even though the Kurii are central to Gor. Tarns even though the Tarn is the symbol of Gor. New cultures even though Misk said all cultures exist. Medical scanners even though the long life serum exists. Translation devices even though the scribes have them. Electric cooling even though it is in the books. Elevators even though the towers of Ar are very high. Sewers even though Ar is over 10,000 years old. This is not a coherent approach. This is fear of the unknown dressed as fidelity to the books. BTB Plus is different. BTB Plus accepts what is in the books. It fills gaps with logic. It allows creativity without breaking the lore. Modern weapons are in the books. Therefore, they are part of Gor, not for daily use, but for special stories. Conclusion. Modern weapons are not a myth. They are reality in the books, in the lore, in the world of Gor. They are rare, they are dangerous, they are not for everyone, but they exist. Do not let selective BTB players tell you otherwise. Read the books, see for yourself. You should think about it, discuss it. See what it means for you. And if you create a story using this concept, share it. I would like to hear how you use the modern weapons of Gor.